With the gameplay in the background, I'm sure you're thinking, hey, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't see any children's card games being played. But I assure you, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just shooting dice with minors instead. All joking aside, Dungeon Dice Monsters was a board game released in 2002 that got a supporting video game in early 2003, and then the game was shelved due to lack of interest. It's unfortunate because of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games that are not based on the card game, I think this one deserves the most attention. Okay, so on the main menu, we have a couple options. Dice pool, which is managing what you have and what you're going to play. Tournament, which is running through a tournament. Free duel, which is just free dueling the people that you play against in the tournament for rewards. Tournaments you can't back out of. So if you want to just quickly play something and get a reward, there's that option. Link duel and trade require link cable. Can't do that on a emulator as far as I know. Could be wrong. But if you're playing on a physical copy, hey, if you got a friend that's got it, go for it. And then the Grandpa Shop, which is just the shop to get new dice. So we're going to go in the dice pool. And I believe, if I remember right, in the old school games from like this era with cards, the terminology was trunk and then main deck, which main deck hasn't really changed, but I don't think in the newer games they call them trunk anymore. But in this, it's pool would be your main deck, which is this, and then box would be your trunk, which is all the dice you're not playing with. You can take 15 monsters with you into your pool, and the rest will be left in your box. Now, of course, how are you going to select which monsters to take and everything? Well, you know, there are some strategies. I'm not really going to get into specific strategies and stuff. Like, there's Exodia in this game, which just involves playing the pieces and guarding and stuff. Not that far into it. I played this game a long time ago, and I kind of had to relearn. It is semi-complicated. It's easy to grasp, though, once you get it. We'll go to a basic monster here. Now, each monster is contained in a D6. And nice thing about playing this on an emulator is I have a little pointer. Here is your die sides right here, down in the bar. The stars are your summon crests. And then what's not a summon crest is going to be other crests, like action points, basically, but they can only do specific things. And as you roll them and accumulate them, they'll be put in your crest pool. I'll get into that a little bit later. Level 1s will have 4 out of the 6, so they're easier to summon. And then level 2 will have 3. Then, of course, let's see, where is it? Level 3. It's 2. Here's a 3, 2, and then here's a 4, which just has 1. So they're a lot harder to summon. Now, to summon one, you have to roll 2 monsters of the same level, and they have to roll summon crests, and then you get your choice. Of course, if you roll all 3, then you can get all 3, summon whichever one you want. So, coming back to Shadow Spectre, our little demo monster, he is a level 1. This symbol is a zombie, and they're color-coded as well. So, yellow is zombie, and then red's dragon, white spellcaster. Tough to remember exactly the colors and everything. I'm sure if you played the shit out of this game, you would notice, you get the hang of it real quick, but I just still go by the little decals. And next to that, well, of course, you got level 1, which is just going to dictate what how many summon crests, and what makes it easier picking out who you've got to, or what level of monster you got to roll with that if you want to summon them. Now, of course, some monsters you might be taking them less for their attributes when they're actually played, and more for the crests that they have on the die faces. The heart is like their health points. Each heart is worth 10. And then here's your attack stat, which is 10 on Shadow Spectre. And then your blocking stat, which is 10. Here, we'll go over to Ryukushin. Level 2, he has the same stats, same health and everything, but he's got less summon. And you think that, well, he's harder to get out. The reason why he's level 2 is because his non-summoning crests are actually pretty alright for a level 2. He's got 1 movement and 2 attack crests, which each will deposit 2 into your pool. Again, I'll get more into that later when we actually fire up a game. But the little numbers here, which actually the best monster is Mighty Mage. If you roll the dice, obviously you're not very likely to get a summon crest. You're more likely to get something else. But here are your chances to get something else. And obviously you look at the move crests, and if you get, one result's going to give you 2, one result's going to give you 4, then you have 1 move, 1 magic, 1 trap. These aren't so good, but if you really need to move, he's a good utility guy to take. I don't have any other level 4s to take, and I can't summon them. I take them specifically for utility. It's pretty dang good, throw him if you need some movement. He's best I got right now. Anyways, there are some special attributes. So who's actually... good one is Swamp Battle Guard. So he's a level 2 with 2 heart points, 20 attack, 20 blocking, and his non-summon crests are pretty good too, but he also has a special ability. Now when you attack, if you want to spend an additional attack crest, you have to spend 1 to attack. You can use an additional 1, and he has 30 attack instead. Another good one, different kind of ability, Mighty Mage. You can spend 1 magic crest to attack 2 squares away. You can only attack 1 in front of you, but if you want to spend a magic crest, you can attack 2 away. Can be situationally good. Depends on who you're playing, what the situation is. There are other things to monsters too. Like we'll take, actually, your baby dragon's another. So there is a weakness system. Some monsters are strong against others. Some are weak against others. But like baby dragon, his ability is he doesn't have any weaknesses or strengths. So you get a straight 10-10 and but he's got this little extra icon next to his heart that indicates flying. Now you have to spend additional move crests to move him around, but he could move through monsters, which normally you can't do, and he can only be attacked by other flying monsters. Pretty good. Costly to move him around. Situationally good. I don't play him. I've never found him useful. He was one of the first ones to get the boot because his compared to other level 1s, his non-summoning crests suck, in my opinion. The other one is Tunnel. Now, it's the same thing like flying. You can move through monsters, but it doesn't cost 2 to move. And you can also be attacked by anything. So, it's just, there's no real downfall to it. It's just all bonus. And of course, looking at his stats, you notice level 1, his attacking stats and defense stats are pretty par for the course for level 1. But hey, he's got 20 heart points. And if you really need blocking Crest, man, if you get that one side of the die roll, man, you get 6. Pretty damn good. And he's got tunneling. So you can obviously tell I take him. What's another standout? Giant Flea. Again, you know, he's got 20 attack. All the rest of the stuff is pretty basic. Non-movement or non-summon sucks. But if you need an attacker that's real easy to get out, he's not too bad. So these are pretty balanced. I don't have any complaints on balancing. The game seems extremely balanced, actually. Like Karibo sucks, but you know, if you need it for utility, he's not a bad option. So we'll back out of that. We'll go to the shop. Now here you can buy and sell. Selling dice. So if you're free dueling, you get, well, in tournaments too, each victory you get, you've got a pretty good chance of winning a die. My experience is most of the time they're not amazing. I've gotten one amazing die. But most of the time they're not. And that's where you can sell and just recoup some of the money. But we'll go to buy. And you'll see the prices listed here. So, and there's the Yugioh pieces, 30 grand a piece. They're pretty expensive. And you can press left trigger to check the stats just like you can in the pool. And right trigger to switch over to see what the die face is. So he's 3,000. And if I remember right, yeah, so he summons, when he summons, you get a bonus for all the same type. Usually these guys, you play them away from the combat because it's a passive bonus that goes across the map. And notice it says in play, that also affects your opponent too. So your opponent's monsters get a power up that are the same type. So good if you want to play all the same type of whatever bonus you're getting, but you just have to remember that it could be situationally bad for you. Let's go down. There are some objectively bad monsters in this, like Flying Penguin, I would say is objectively bad. Summon Crest are, well, it's a level 2, so only half the die summon Crest, and your non-summon Crests are, you only get 1 a pop. They're terrible. It's terrible. 10 health and just 10 attack, 10 defense. So that's objectively bad. I think, well, Fiend's Mirror has some okay. I mean, if you're blocking, I wouldn't run it, but maybe you find a situation. There's one more. Yeah, Jinzo I would say is objectively bad because level 3 and it's 10. It's a 10, 10, 10. Like, I kind of don't care what your non-summon crests are. I mean, let's say that this was also attack and it was like a 2 or a 3. Maybe. But the fact that they're all different, your chances are pretty spread out. You can't really focus on, hey, I need this or I won't need a lot of whichever non-summon crest in my strategy. It's just bad because it's not focused enough. And of course, it's a level 3 10 10 10. So you obviously absolutely do not want to play it. And it has no special effect either. So he's objectively bad. Buying and selling. So we'll switch back. Clown zombie, tunneling, 10, 10, 10, level 1. Oh, pretty alright, Hey, zombie, if you like zombies, if it fits into your strategy, or you just have just a hodgepodge of stuff and you need level 1s, because believe it or not, there's a strategy where you just run nothing but level 1s and try to rush the opponent through just a ton of easy summons. Works a lot of the time. A lot of time it doesn't, but say you need it. So here's your pool of what you want to buy, and then your total, and then you just confirm it there, and it goes to your box. And then if you need, you decide against it, you can just move it back. One thing I failed to mention, there are non-monster dice. I have one. These are health packs. Or medical aid kit. Basically, they're health packs. I haven't found a need to run them yet, but what they do is all items, when you play it, what happens is it appears as a chest on the board, and only you know what it is. Any player can move their monster over to it and claim it. Now, there's some that are traps. Time machine is one that happens where, there's an item or whatever on the board, you rush it, thinking maybe it's something good, because there are some power-ups, or maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe it's a medical aid kit. My monster is damaged, so you rush it, and then you open it up, and it's a time machine. It sends your monster back to where it came from before you moved it over to get the item. And you blew all those movement crests trying to get it. So, eliminating resources. It can be offensive or defensive. Once they're on the board, they cannot be moved. So, if it's a trap, maybe you want to set it up somewhere that's a little out of the way, but easier to get. Medical aid kit, maybe pop it down somewhere close to the monster that needs it, so you don't have to spend so many movement crests to get to it. I'll go back to the store, because there are some down at the bottom. And of course you unlock more as you complete more tournaments and stuff. So Trap Bandit destroys one trap crest and own crest pool, so that would be a trap. So if you need to take out your enemy's crest pool, which, looking at the die, it's level 1, it's easy to throw out. I personally wouldn't run it. Also, pretty non-exciting crests. And it just does the opposite. It destroys a magic crest in own pool. So I personally wouldn't play either one of those. Garbage in my opinion. Something like Time Machine is a lot more effective if you're wanting a trap. There's some better traps too. Can't remember what they are. I've never seen them before. But I do know they're pretty devastating. I don't know what level they are. I assume they're a higher level. But it's just something to consider. Okay, so what you want to start off with, because when you first start the game, there'll be nothing in free duel. You got to play tournaments. Now, of course, you could cheat and look online and see what tournaments are easier, because there are some tournaments that are pretty dang easy, and then there are some that are a little harder. But if you're not a cheater, just pick a tournament, play it. As you beat tournaments, more unlock, which unlocks more players to play in free duel, which, there's prizes and stuff for beating the tournament too. Die prizes, cash prizes. I sound like some sort of salesman. But that's what you want to start off with. If you're going to cheat, look whichever one's the easiest one. Play it. And then, actually, I would say whichever one is the hardest one available to you, play that one. Because you'd be surprised, if you play smart, you'd be surprised how easy it can be. Plus, if you play, you unlock who you beat. You don't have to actually complete the tournament. You can't back out of tournaments once you start them. So the only way to get out of the tournament is to either lose or win. But you unlock everyone that you beat in free duel. Which, I've unlocked a handful of people. Anyways, we'll start easy. And I'll say something weird. Some of it's pretty cringy. But if you want to make some last minute adjustments to your pool, you can go ahead and do it now. If you're cool with what you got, then you just say, I'm finished. Okay, so this screen is going to be the most confusing thing in the beginning because it kind of just throws it at you. So this up top, you're going to be ignoring most of the time. It might be a good idea to use in the beginning, but you can say you want to summon a specific monster. You can place them in there. Or if you're wanting a specific crest, you can place it in there. And you can mix it up, or let's say I specifically want movement crests. You hit set, and it's going to give you, and of course you can double tap A, and it's going to go ahead and roll for you. But that's going to give you the highest probability of rolling a move crest, setting it up like that. And of course you can mix and match, so like I want a pretty good chance of rolling both, hit set, and you just changed out one. So it looks like it's split pretty down the middle. You got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 movement faces, and you've got 3 attacks. And you just hit B to back them out. You are going to want to choose your dice. I mean, that's going to help you learn kind of what's going to be the best in certain situations, and you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. You kind of know what you need to throw, and you can manually adjust it yourself, because you can only try for 2 things, but let's say you really need 3 different kinds. Well, you can make the adjustments yourself, and you might be getting what you need off of every roll or something, and then you can adjust your next roll based on, okay, well, I have enough blocking crests, now I just need movement crests and attack crests. So then you could use this up here, but again, you're gonna know what you need. My advice, though, for your opening move is to just get some level 1s. Now, you're going to have some specific level 1s that you're going to want to retain for utility. Like, the only one actually that I retain, where are you? Oh, he may already be, yeah, is Penguin Soldier, because both of his are non-summoning crests or movements, and they're both pretty good. So if I throw him, I'm not going to summon him. So it might be best to just pick stuff that you're okay with summoning. Give you the most flexibility. Yeah, we'll go ahead. And once you're done, you hit go. Now, this is your crest pool. Now, since it's level 1 or first turn, I don't have anything. But all of your summoning crests go into this pool over here on the left, and then it's there for you. It's stored until either player wins. Hopefully it's you. But we'll go ahead and we'll hit go. You get your roll. And I get 1 trap crest that's added to the pool, and then I can summon either Twin-Headed Dragon or Aqua Mador. I'll take Aqua Mador because it's a better defender. Heaven forbid. Now this is the other thing that might be confusing. So kind of on the left is like your 3D map. That's usually not what you want to look at. What you want to look at is on the right. Now each character, actually I'll just use the pointer. This is you, and this is your opponent. The goal is to build a path to your opponent and take him out. Now he's got 3 hearts, but it's not a specific number. So you can't take like a 30 attack monster, hit him once and you win. It takes 3 attacks no matter how strong or weak the monster is. But you can manipulate the shape of the die to a bunch of different shapes. And then you can rotate them around. Usually you need to rotate them around late game when you're trying to, if you're trying to fit them in somewhere specific. Usually it's best to go with a shape like this because it gives you the maximum distance to get to your opponent. So it's going to give you the fastest time or quickest time, at least number of dimensions. I guess you use the official terminology. But anyways, here's Aqua Mador. And now you can move around the map. You can hover over an opponent's monster. Of course, he hasn't summoned anything. But you can see their crest pool as well. Of course, the most important thing, make sure that's off. You hit start and you can quit out of free duels. But make sure that's off. Now, default it's on. And what that does is when monsters fight, there's like a little cutscene or whatever. And the cutscene's like 10, 15, or 15 seconds. It like drags on, especially when, let's say, there's a lot of summons and a lot of fighting. It makes your life go by that much slower. So just turn the shit off. But anyways, we're done. So just end the turn. And your opponent rolls. You can see what he rolls. He rolled all summons. And he's going to make his summon. And that's it. As you can see, here's our 1 trap crest that we rolled. Now, what do the crests do? Because I promised I said I'd get to that. You've got movement, attack, blocking, magic, and trap. Now, these 2 are self-explanatory. Movement, obviously, is to move. 1 move crest per square. Some monsters, they have the ability where they can get multiple moves out of 1 crest. Strike Ninja's one I can think off the top of my head where he can move up to 3 squares per 1 movement crest. So there's that. Then attacking, self-explanatory. You need 1 per attack. And then, like I said earlier, Swamp Battle Guard has the ability you can use an additional 1 for an extra 10 attack points. So that would put 2 attack crests if you needed it. Can't think of any other monster that is used like that. I'm sure there's probably some. I just haven't encountered it yet. Not super duper deep into this game. Blocking, that's going to run off your defense. Now, the defense means nothing without a blocking crest. The blocking crest, when you get attacked, is going to put your defense stat against the attacking monster's attack. If it still overwhelms the defense stat, it's just going to get subtracted, and it's going to take that many hearts off. If it is higher than the attack of the attacking monster, then it's going to go against the attacking monster's heart points. And of course, that plays into the weakness system. If a monster, let's say you're the attacker, if you're attacking a monster that you're strong against, it's going to give you an additional 10 attack. If a monster is attacking you, so you're on the defense, and it's weak against you, then you're going to get an additional 10 if you block. That's the key right there. You have to use a defensive blocking crest to defend. Your other option, if you don't have it or you don't want to use it, you can just wait. You shouldn't be too focused on these. You're probably going to get a few while just playing, and a few go a long way. If you need, say, more, I'll throw a number out there. If you need more than 5, you're pretty screwed. Probably not going to win. And if you're really needing to roll blocking crest, you're probably not going to win either. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it because it's a pretty good one. Then you have your magic and your trap. These are basically the same thing. It's just some monsters, their special abilities run off of magic, and some run off trap. So just pay attention when you're constructing your pool to play with, and pay attention to the non-summon crest and make sure you can get plenty. If it's something that's crucial, Blast Lizard's pretty good. Don't even have to engage in attacking. You can just blow up the enemy with monsters. It's an expensive ability, but it's pretty effective. You don't even have to engage in combat, and it's got range to it. Going by memory, that runs off magic, so you would want some supporting dice rolls for magic crests, and same goes for trap if the reverse was true. So, pretty simple. If you fail to get a summon, so you pick your dice, you fail to get a summon, when your next turn rolls around, you're going to have the same dice queued up, and you can go ahead and just hit go and roll the same dice again, or you can make adjustments to it. Actually, before I cut ahead, you just tap A on a enemy monster, and there's their crest pool right there. If you ever want to know what your enemy's crest pool is, it's as easy as pie. So here's a gameplay mechanic that I'll go ahead and point out right here. When you summon a monster or dimension your monster, it has to be touching your path. So like in the beginning, you have to summon it off of your, I forget what his name is. I'll put it down in the text below. So right here, as you can see, he's started to build his path around mine. Now let's say that he put a dungeon path over here. That would actually block me completely off from summoning anything over here ever. Same thing with this side. It has to touch your path. Of course, we don't want that. So we can go ahead and try some funky shapes. Actually, we'll go ahead and just play it like that. So now with this, it gives me an access point to build over here on this side. So this game's been kind of tense. That's my one complaint about this game. It's really RNG focused, but of course it's a game revolving around dice, so this is to be expected. I got shafted on the summons, and he's got shafted on the attack Crest. He's attacked me once, but he can't seem to roll any more attack Crest. Now, you can only attack once per turn. You can move as many times as you want. So I just moved Swamp Battle Guard, killed, he had a Karibo here, and then I was able to move him again all the way to his Die Master. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. We'll see what he rolls. Still no attack Crest, so he actually can't do anything. Now me, I got more movements. I'll go ahead and attack. Of course, I have the attack Crest to kill him. It's just the turns. Of course, and I'll move him over here. Yeah, he guarded right there, which took 10 off because he's a twin-headed Thunder Dragon is a 40-20. So he's quite strong. If he didn't guard right there, he would have just died outright. Anyways, we'll go ahead and end turn. He still doesn't get any attack. Of course, it doesn't matter what I roll now, because, like I said, I have the attack Crest. I'll go ahead and pass, and actually now he can't win because I'm a one attack ahead of him on his Die Master. He still doesn't get any attack Crest. Actually, forgot to do this. We'll go ahead and get rid of you. And that's the ball game. And here's a reward, Fiend's Mirror, which already had one. So that'd be a good opportunity to come down here to the shop and go ahead and sell. Of course, I have to. I said confirm and get my 20, which is pretty lousy, to be honest. In the grand scheme of things, if Exodia pieces cost 30,000 gold. Anyways, yeah, that's Dungeon Dice Monsters. Kind of overwhelming at first, but as you get to playing, there's not a whole bunch to it. And there is some strategy. There's a lot of RNG too. Kind of like the card game. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. If this helped you, leave a like. And if it didn't help you, let me know why down in the comments below. Enjoy.